chat that this is running on a 20-minute delay, and so just to prevent any kind of screen watching or cheating, and we're off with 20 rupees in Sanctuary.
And we got ourselves a map check. It was really quick, but I think I saw Hera and Eastern as crystals, and Desert was maybe a crystal as well.
I saw that Eastern was a 5/6 crystal.
Okay.
Hopefully our fantastic trackers had quicker eyes than we did. Killer Rat getting a nice bomb pull from the tree, tier 1 tree pull. Flame and Jet using the one by the Dark Mountain Ascent.
Bush Crab is just 5 rupees with the end prize of some arrows.
Getting a nice 300 rupee drop from the mushroom spot. And we see a pair of 20s in 2 drop downs, one from Aga, the Lumberjack tree, which we will not need to defeat Aghanim 1 for, and the other one in the Thieves' Hideout.
Alright,
oh, go ahead.
Just 20 rupees at Hylia Island, it looks like.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Ak is already showing a little bit of divergence, is grabbing some bombs from the shop by Hylia Lake, likely heading over to do Sahasrarala check. This has been somewhat popular, just in terms of especially large races, where you want to have some maybe medium risk plays when you know everybody else is going to go to Kakariko.
So I should probably go over how the qualifier format's going to work, outside of just the fact being no hints. So each runner, so there's 20 qualifiers that are scheduled all throughout this month. You have to play 5 of them, or up to 5 of them. Your top score gets thrown out, and your bottom score also gets thrown out. So we take only the 3 in the middle. On top of that, your time is actually based on the average of the top 3 finishers of the seed to kind of smooth out, you know, getting like really that one person getting a really lucky streak at it, or getting like a really bad seed overall, like to kind of keep that from being a thing that you have to deal with. There's a whole lot of math behind it, and I'm not a math person, so.
But we are all speedrunners here, and finding those boots and a glove in Blind's basement is really fantastic. Ak got the lamp from Sahasrarala's closet and finds the bow in the dam.
That's a really hot pickup there.
Everyone's favorite troll, the ice rod in the well, along with the hammer and a bottle.
No ice rod hunt this game, I guess.
Not only that, with the lamp and bow, we are able to full clear Eastern. So we're going to potentially have a sub 10-minute first crystal.
Alright, Ak has given us a look at Mini Moldworm Cave.
Find ether in the chicken hut. Six crystal right away is interesting. It implies maybe something in Pyramid Fairy. And we get the fire rod and flippers in Mini Moldworm Cave. This is a very stacked Sphere 0.
Oh, indeed. And if we find any more rupees, we might get a really early Zora too. That'll be a thing. Potentially, at least.
That is absolutely a thing. And when we mention Sphere 0, it's the so-called sphere of items that you can obtain without having any other items in the game, that you can just walk straight from Link's house or Sanctuary and pick them up. Bombs are not considered as part of the spheres because they are possible to buy or pick up anywhere.
And there's a sword for Ack. That's also certainly a nice pickup.
There are so many possibilities right now. We see Jet going back and checking the back of Escape. Helene checking Bonk Rocks.
Getting boots early always feels good. You can really do a lot of stuff faster.
Key, a piece of heart, and a map in the back of Escape. If they had picked up the lamp from Sahasrahla, they could go back to Dark Cross. But I imagine they would likely go and do some other checks first. That did give us a check of Waterfall Ferry. Nothing particularly of note in there. And nothing of note on the Zora Ledge.
So we're still looking for Moon Pearl, right? We need that for our Dark World access.
With these runners finding the bow, particularly Jet and Thalane, I can see them going to Eastern even without that lamp knowledge. Both of them are more than capable of doing dark rooms, and when they find the lamp in Sahasrahla's closet, they'll be more than pleased. Some bombs from the Bridge Dweller, and Thalane is giving us an early Agina check.
Looks like Killer App is in fact going for Sahasrahla. Doubt the bow yet.
When he grabs this lamp, it may take him towards Deathmount. But Ack is making his way back over to Eastern. We'll finish that off. Well, Thalane looks to be going towards the Escape rather than Eastern, which is a little bit curious. He again is more than capable of completing Eastern without the lamp, and it's a crystal. Might be just be hoping for a gamble. Again, one of these kind of the metas in the large person races is that it's not necessarily execution and routing, but the gambles that you make, and if you get a lucky one, you might just gain a few places.
And even then, let's say you do get a really lucky route also. That may be your best race of the series of 5 you have to do, and that might be the one that gets thrown out. So you have to also do really consistently well across all of your races to really score well in these qualifiers. So that's something else that'll also be weighing on our players' minds as they're going through these seats.
Ack not having the boots from Preco is a bit of a detriment. They're certainly nice to have in this dungeon, even if they're not intended in vanilla. Lots of long hallways to dash through. You can certainly save some time in there. We got the powder.
And with access to hammer, you know what that means, right? We'll have to see if anybody goes for it. Yeah.
Everyone loves a fetch quest chain. Lane hasn't found anything of interest yet in the Escape. Since we had early access to gloves and the small key was in the back, all of these chests are in logic. Elaine releasing this ferry, preparing for the Death Warp. Going to make their way through Dark Cross in the dark.
Releasing that ferry isn't something you typically think about, but players of this level of caliber, they've certainly experienced that feeling of not releasing that ferry and wasting a bunch of time.
Get a vanilla big key in Eastern. And it looks like Killer App is farming for Zora. Just got 501 and is heading there now.
So if I was counting correctly, Ak has one more item left in Eastern, so we have something on Armos.
Yes. Could be our Moon Pearl. Could be a big 20. That's the joy of Randomizer.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, Jet's showing us the power of boots in Eastern.
It's one of those things that for each individual room, it might not save you much time, but for every minute that you go without the boots, you're saving a few seconds. So over the course of an entire run, that could easily add up to a significant amount. And if I know Ak, he's going to be kicking himself when he finds those boots in Lion's hideout. Oh, we didn't see it, but Elaine did find that Moon Pearl in Dark Cross. We have our Dark World access.
I saw a 5-6 in Skull Woods. I saw a pendant at Meyer, and I missed the rest of that.
I think Ice might have also been a pendant.
Okay.
But yeah.
That might be your green then?
Yeah. Ak did finish off the Armos Knights. Only 10 arrows, but did get his first crystal. And only 10 arrows from King Zora. Swamp was the last pendant, so we have green pendant Swamp.
Refunded some arrows, and Chet also is claiming his first crystal of the game. So what a significance did we actually find in Eastern? Just the powder, right?
Just powder.
So, yeah, Thelaine's decision to put off Eastern might pay.
We'll have to see. Ak will pick up his hammer shortly in Kakriko, and will be in great position to check the powder. Telaine not finding anything in interest in Skull Woods. Imagine he'll make the trip into Village of Outcasts, clear out Thieves' Town. Or I'm completely wrong, and he is going to go and do the quick check on Bumper Ledge. Telaine is making their checks in Village of Outcasts. 3 early items to get here, and then 4 items in Thieves Town.
All right, everybody add 1 to the counter. Just killer app, just making sure that hints are in fact disabled.
Might have just wanted a little hint, looking for some advice on how to route through Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, now he knows that, the red Igors in fact require arrows.
That's important information to know.
Exactly. But, I mean, joking aside, the muscle memory can be pretty hard to kind of shake off after 10 months of V30. So I don't want to make too much fun of him for that.
Especially for the ones in Eastern where it is literally right there as you pass by. For some of the more out of the way ones, I think that they'll remember. We've got Thieves Town on Thulane screen and getting that magic powder check from Ack.
All right. So, menu. All right. There you go, Ack. And this is gonna pay.
Just a Pizza Heart.
Yeah, just Pizza Heart. So Thulane, I think his routing decisions, I think, are going to help him out here.
In a way, it's a bit disappointing for him to learn that Swamp Palace is a crystal, because now he probably realizes he's not likely to get the mirror, or if he gets the mirror, it might be a dangerous sign, since he would ideally like to combo Pod and Eastern. And the mirror just makes that incredibly easy routing. The other nice thing to find would be the flute, but once again, with Meyer being a pendant, the flute's not really something that you want to find.
Alright, looks like Ack is going to also find his Moon Pearl here in just a second in Dark Cross. He'll be our second player for Dark World Access here really soon. And I suspect he's probably going to take that fire rod and go light up a moth.
Absolutely.
Or do other stuff as well. Make me a liar.
He does not know that Skullwoods is the 5/6 crystal yet. I think if he knew that already, this might be slightly different. But there's the mirror in the attic of Thieves Town.
He's gonna find this out here really hot, really quickly here. Yep.
Okay, Jet, did you remember to release that fairy?
No.
So that mirror is a mixed blessing for Thulane. It makes routing a lot easier, but it also opens up checks and pendant Swamp Palace. Cave, formerly known as Hype Cave, without much to note. Shields, blue mail, and a bunch of rubies.
I mean, another option Ack has is he might do Pod. Yeah.
Pod makes sense, especially since he knows that's a crystal as well. Clear out this portion of the map, he'll never have to come back here.
Yeah, especially since he's already done Eastern. It's not like he'll be wanting to have the mirror to go to Eastern, then to clear that out quickly. Without the mirror, his routing here is going to be a little more awkward, but it shouldn't be that bad.
And Thulane found Titan's Mitts in Thieves Town, so we got French vanilla Titans.
Hey, at least it's in a crystal dungeon, so they're likely to do this.
Flame takes down Blind, gets his first crystal and an extra bottle. Now Jet taking the northern portal, looks like he will likely do Skullwoods first.
So the lane's now in a good position with that mirror. He can quickly pair up Pod and Eastern whenever he feels like it. Even if he decides to do that now, just being able to save a little bit of time going between those two dungeons only once, going in that area will really help him out.
You can also very effectively clear out a lot of these overworld checks,
Mm-hmm.
do the dig game, return the smith, do hammer pigs, take the purple chest, and check all those South Dark World checks.
That's a lot of digs. Just for Big 20. He's going to leave that behind.
So this has been a very fast seed with a lot of progression early in Kakriko. Looking at what we're still looking for, we will logically need the hookshot for Ganon's Tower. We'll need the Cane of Samaria for Turtle Rock, and potentially an extra medallion unless it is Ether or Quake. Unfortunately, the nature of those items mean that they could be pretty much anywhere on the overworld at this point.
Yeah, we may have a good old hookshot hunt on our hands. Unless I think all of our runners here can hover. I think. So they may be in a situation where they don't even need that hookshot.
That is absolutely a potentiality.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ack was demonstrating a really nice use of throwing the bomb on the crystal switch and then dropping in the pit to reset your position. It's a nice way to flip the crystal switch and then get set up to go back to the back of pod. Killer App is going to give us a check of Library of the Pyramid Ledge, while Jet has no issue taking down Mothula.
And Jet gets the second crystal of the game. And I suspect he's going to pair that probably with a visit to Thieves Town here very, very soon.
Yeah, I can see doing that. And then what will be very nice is he'll probably do the same overworld checks as the lane. But rather than, finishing up into pod, he'll be able to check Pyramid Fairy.
Alright, so if the land's going back to the Dark World.
Ooh, and there is the flute in pod. And Ack forgot his fairy too.
Yeah. It would have been a neat death warp there. So it looks like he's just gonna walk out.
So Flame still doesn't have his sword. And we have not seen any other sword yet.
Yeah. The lane with the really late South Shore run now.
But with that fire rod and flippers and Titan's mitts, do you think he's tempted to do or Ice Palace right now?
Well, based on the fact he's going back to the Dark World right now. And we'll have to see if he goes... Looks like he's going to go north.
He still does have his Hype Cave check. And he will be able to full clear pod.
Like, with hints shut off, Ice Palace does have its good old V29 value. Which, without those three hints really made Ice Palace more attractive earlier. But now, not so much. So I could see Thelaine putting it off.
Progression could very well be on Death Mountain at this point. With the Mirror and Hammer and Titan's Mitts, we have the ability to get all of the items on there. So it doesn't look like Pod has resulted in anything unless something is on Helmasaur. Skullwoods only had that Quake Medallion. The Mirror is certainly nice from Thieves Town.
Alright, and Ack takes down Helmasaur King. It's a pretty low health seed.
Only 20 rupees from Helmasaur, but more importantly, gets his second crystal.
Yeah, it's really interesting right now. Like, Thelaine has a crystal that none of the other runners have. Ack has a crystal none of the other runners have. And Jet has a crystal none of the other runners have.
Again, that early Kakariko and all of the Sphere Zero just leading to a large amount of divergence in routes.
Yeah, this might be. We really don't know who's going to win this one. Like, this could be anybody's game at this point. It really depends on who finds the Canis Maria first.
Ack is going to call his duck. Hyrule Quick Transportation, Birds Are Us. I don't see him going to Death Mountain yet. I think he's going to clear out his 2 crystals in North Dark World first.
Yeah. I mean, without access to East Death Mountain, it's not going to be worth it for him.
Oh no! Jet took a death.
Yeah, I don't think that was intended. Did he at least loot the chest?
No, because he didn't grab the mirror.
Oh. That is unfortunate.
Can I just say that's he did such an amazing job on Fighter Sword, Greenmail, Mothula, but I mean, Thieves Town is not a pleasant dungeon to go through, especially this room right here. Even if you can get the pixel perfect, RNG perfect dash through the hallway. But Killer App also gets their Skullwoods crystal, their second 5/6 crystal. Will likely be following Jet into Thieves Town.
Now Jet has his mirror. He's back on the right track.
With all of those early items, do you, as a runner, try to metagame things and determine, what's the most ideal route, chess per minute, that can get me ahead of the pack here?
I'd say, like, in large group races, it can be more difficult to metagame because you have to metagame against, like, 23 other people or so. But there's probably a little bit of that going on. Like, especially if you find a progression item that you think you found really, really early because you did, like, something pretty unorthodox, you may want to push that advantage.
I'm going to be curious to see what Thelaine does after Pod and Eastern. I imagine going up Death Mountain is the play he's going to make, but there's no reason our Hookshot and Samaria aren't just in Ice Palace. I mean, it's very, very unlikely considering Ice Palace logic, but it's certainly possible.
Oh, and Jet needs to be careful. Alright. Gets rewarded with his bottle and his third crystal in the match.
Ack showing off his 6-heart green male hammer moth. Just a stroll through the spike patch.
I think he does have I think he has a potion of some kind. I think maybe a green. So he might be able to, if he feels like he might pop that potion and just fire at him.
Blaine didn't actually mirror and check Sahasrala's closet before going into Pod, so he's going through the dark maze, navigating with boot dashes.
There we alright. And Ack has defeated Mothula and gets rewarded with his third crystal.
There's a comment in chat that usually you can follow one item to the other, just got X, what does X open? The problem with that is that there's still so many options. And even the order in which we got items in the seed, since everything was right there at the beginning, you had almost infinite options.
Yeah, this is where those jet seeds, so to speak, can really become a nightmare on you. This is when you just have so much to do, and you're just looking for that one item.
Well,
It's
for instance,
usually the story of these seeds.
Ack got his hammer last of all the runners and just got that and had got the powder. He's like, oh, well, I just got hammer, I just got powder, let's check that, and it ended up not being anything. Blaine about to go and take care of one of the most difficult dark rooms in the game, the Dark Turtle Room. Does have Fire Rod to light the torch.
There you go. Just like that.
But these turtles can easily get out of your way if you're in the dark. Alright, everyone is slowly getting caught up on their bosses now. Killer App with 3, having just completed Thieves Town. Tied with Jet and Ack. Lane just getting his 2nd, and will soon get his 3rd from Eastern. Jet's going to spend a little bit of time with the overworld checks we had seen with Lane, with the exception of he will get to add in that Pyramid Fairy check.
We'll have to see if that has anything. That could be a game changer if it has something.
That is a case where I think it might be neat to read the logic that we got access to both of our Pyramid Fairy crystals so quickly. Well, it looks like Killer App is doing their North Dark World checks after Thieves Town, and will be able to give us a show at Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. He's also doing a quick check of Lumberjack Ledge, which they did not do earlier. And is actually going up the mountain. Okay. It makes sense. There is so many items that they can get up here. Just 3 on West Death Mountain, 2 in Hera, 8 on East Death Mountain, and then another 6 in Dark Death Mountain. Plus,
there's a lot of value up here now.
But he is kind of orphaning Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. And since he had his portal right there, I'm not sure if I would have gone up the mountain. Nothing inside Spectacle Rock, half magic on top of Spectacle Rock. And with Killer App facing Trinex and Cold Sear in his future, I don't see any reason not to grab that. And Jet about to show us what is in the Pyramid Fairy.
Bombs and ledge.
And we are fire locked in Hera.
Alright, so Pyramid Fairy was a bust. But hey, there's a blue potion out of the deal. That's a nice grab.
Free blue is I'd never turn that down. And do you notice anything about Jet's rupee count right now?
I don't know. It looks a little on the low side.
A little bit. I think he was just on his way to pod and realized, oh, I kind of need another 26 rupees.
And we can't even check the stun prize. We haven't found a boomerang or the hook shot this seed yet.
Now, if Jet remembers, there was a 20 rupee on Zora Ledge if Catfish doesn't pay out.
It'd be the day when grabbing 20 rupees off a Zora Ledge is beneficial to you.
I think Jet actually passed up that 50 rupees that Ack just saw in the VT cave. Might be kicking himself about that. Piece of art is our first item in Hera. Killer app remembering not to check the hints. And our final item will be on Moldworm. And yeah, it is 41 minutes in, and Thelaine has still not gotten the fighter sword out of Ice Rod Cave. He had mentioned earlier today that he does the early Agina check because it is just as out of way as Ice Rod Cave and just as likely to have value.
Oh no. So Jet tried to pull up the bush crab to get some money, and the 5 just walked right into the tree, and he couldn't loot it. So now he's gonna try it here. He's gonna. At least he has his. All right, Jet has his cash now.
All right, he has just enough now. And Killer App took down Moldorm after taking an early unfortunate fall with just bombs. But another all-important crystal. You see the book on Floating Island. Without a Master Sword, that book is tantalizing, and we do require Bombos for Turtle Rock, so we are on the hunt for Bombos, Samaria, and the Hookshot.
Not quite. I think this Lane just set up a water walk. Or no, he didn't. Never mind.
And Ack is making the Ice Palace play.
Hey, yeah, go big or go home, right?
Like we said, because of Ice Palace logic, it is very unlikely for the Hookshot and Samaria to be in here, but it's not impossible. The bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave, just 10 arrows, but that book. Thelaine is going to check Desert Ledge and then give us our first look at the Mire area. Hookshot could be in Ganon's Tower this seed, since Swamp Palace is the green pendant. But it would depend on the key layout in Ice Palace, and since Ack has not found a big or small key yet, I think Hookshot has to be outside of GT, but I'm not 100% certain in that. But Thelaine
Alright.
finds his master sword in the mire shed.
Alright. Act just hovering over this room here. Certainly a way to do it. Pulling out his map for extra measure, I suppose.
We have ether to get into mire. Can't clear it, but could certainly take a peek. But Thelaine is choosing the mountain. And a good idea too, because Killer App finds that Samaria in Paradox Cave.
So if Killer App, so he just needs Bombos, and if he's feeling comfortable with hovering, he could easily just skip finding the hook shot. We could have ourselves a legendary hover seat on our hands.
Always a little bit controversial, especially for people who feel disadvantaged by hovering, but exciting to watch.
Well, two of our runners, Jet and Ack the Boker, they're on the racing council, so they get. That's all I'm going to say there.
And Killer App is going to take that book, take a look and see what the ether tablet holds, see if it has Bombos or that hook shot, or, for his information, a second sword. But it is just a shield. One more check on Death Mountain, Spike Cave. Cello Effect Chest. Ack has not found anything useful in Ice Palace, as we expected. I don't think it's possible for the hookshot to be in here any longer, given the keyout layout. And so he needs to actually use the bomb to check the big chest. Now, I'm not sure, Sinak, and if you can confirm if there is a key on Cold Stair, does that mean that the hook shot was logically required for Ice Palace?
I don't know. I think chat help me out here. Like bail me out on my ignorance.
Key on Cold means cane. Okay.
Yeah, I knew that. I think it has to do with the location of the big key, I think. If hook shot's required. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Spleeby's saying because the key was upstairs, the big key was upstairs, that the hook shot was not required.
Okay, so we could have the hook shot in Ganon's tower. Anywhere up to the chest before Moldborn 2, including in the big chest.
Yeah.
That
so
takes down.
Yeah, there's just this is really I think if that hook shot doesn't show up anywhere, it could be in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that's the other awful place it could be. There is absolutely no reason it can't be vanilla or in Left Side Swamp or anywhere in the front of Swamp. Flane about to get their Cane of Samaria has not picked up the book yet from the islands. Do you check Bombos before going into Mire itself? Mire and Desert.
Maybe.
When thinking of item density, Swamp is actually the better play at this point.
Potentially. Depends on where our dungeon items are at. But you don't know that until you go in there, right?
Even if you have a non-ideal Swamp layout, I still think on average it's better than Mire.
Yeah, you could get lucky and it could be front-loaded.
And if we do have the hook shot in Swamp, there's no reason that the Bombos medallion can't be on that green pendant.
Yeah, I mean, the way saying that swap isn't required until it is. Pendant swap specifically.
See if the lane tries to hover to the other chests in Hookshot Cave.
Jet just opting for the Ice Palace bomb jump. Yeah, I believe in you. You can do it, Thelaine. I'm not sure what he's you'd only be hovering for Bombos, wouldn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the hard hover. Once you get that one, you can...
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
He could have bonked off that skull, but now he has to do another hover. And he's just gonna go and grab the book. Well, we're theorizing awful locations for the Bombos tablet to be. Just a reminder that this is a qualifier race for the SpeedGaming Live tournament coming up this October. There are going to be 20 of these qualifier races throughout the month of August. They're all going to be this format: open mode, randomized swords, defeat Ganon, no logic glitches, but the hints are disabled.
The top 3 runners after the end of our qualifiers will get guaranteed spots in the bracket stage. Anybody else who just comes to SG Live and gets a ticket, they'll have to fight their way through up to 50 players in a group stage in order to get into that bracket of 16. But yeah, whoever wins these qualifiers are going to be able to skip all that and immediately just go right into the brackets on the Saturday and Sunday.
And I believe that the top 3 runners may also have some of their travel costs subsidized.
Yes. Yep. At least some. We're still working on that. But there will be some help there.
You can find some tourney info if you type !SG live in the chat. That'll get you a link to all the relevant information, including our Discord.
And even if you just want to figure out how you stack up against other players, you can still participate in the qualifiers. You don't have to actually be planning on attending SG Live, or even plan on, even winning. Like, anybody can join them if you just want to see how well you'll do. We'd recommend you joining the Discord. That's linked right there in that command. There is a link then to the guide for the qualifiers. You have to pre-register for these within like 30 minutes or later before the race starts. So there's that. So keep that in mind. But they are open to everybody.
Lane turned in that mushroom and got a sword from it. So that's not our Bombos answer. Lane going to get disappointed from Zora. Have a couple of spots left still to check. I don't believe anybody has looked at Graveyard Ledge. We still have Swamp, Mire, and Desert, and the Bombos tablet. So which pendant do you want to dip?
I think probably Swamp Palace is probably the play right now. Out of the 3 pendants, that's probably the less likely one that your opponents might do. Plus, if you do find the hookshot in there, then you can complete it. Maybe you'll get the Bombos Medallion as well. Maybe it could also be on Sahasrahla. There's a whole lot of theorizing you can do right now, and our runners are very likely going through that right now as they're trying to play through the seed.
For sure. When you're looking at 6 items in Swamp plus an additional one on the green pendant, if you can find that hookshot, seems pretty likely.
Yeah, if the hookshot shows up, I guarantee you they'll probably make a beeline to Swamp. Just because of the density.
Chat bringing up their favorite location. Yes, Head is absolutely an option for Bombos as long as we find that hookshot.
And if this was a hint, the seed had hints enabled. There could have been a decent chance that hookshot or Bombos could have been hinted at, but we're not getting that today.
Nope, no hints.
No hints indeed.
No spoilers. No getting debated by a unique item on the left side of Swamp.
Hey, but I really wanted that single arrow.
Of course, that's the one to kill Ganon with, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, really, this is still anybody's race. And I really mean that. Like, our runners are really close to each other. I really couldn't say anybody's in the lead or even has actually really an advantage, I would say.
I would say Ak is probably, just because he's completed all the other crystals, he only has this hookshot cave and the book to check. So once he does that, he will have to decide what pendant dungeon to do. Unless, of course, these last 2 chests in hookshot cave are the Bombos medallion.
There's our shovel. Oh boy.
That could be Bombos.
At least then we'd know that hookshot wasn't in GT.
That's for sure. Okay, so hovering is potentially not the answer. We have that Schrodinger shovel there. That's the last fetch quest that we have to find. Bombos still needs to be checked. Bombos tablet, rather. Rest of our runners are finishing up their remaining crystal dungeons. Jet will quickly be done with Hera. Thelane and Killer App are in Ice Palace. Thelane still needs to do Skull Woods, and since he's going to have Skull Woods as his 6th crystal, I don't see him not mirroring and checking Pet at this point.
It would be nice to at least get that information out of the way.
After getting blessed with a fire shield. Hopes he won't accidentally open up a chest with a mirror shield anywhere.
Alright, and Jet's making his way to Moldorm 1. And Ack is giving us a look at Spike Cave. Have we seen this yet?
We did. This was the mushroom.
Alright. Paying more attention to me. There you go.
It will give him his tempered sword. Since we haven't found silvers yet, that's going to be a significant time save if they never find it. Master Sword to Tempered is a huge upgrade in damage for the Ganon fight.
Alright, Ack. What's a shovel?
This is the last chance.
Oh. Womp
Just
womp.
a single green rupee. Not even a unique item. Marith talking about following the book to desert. That's a potentiality, but I think that they would be more likely to take the flute to Mire and mirror to desert if they were going to do that. I suspect, though, Ack is going to take the book to the Bombos tablet and then go into Swamp. Or he could flute to 6 and go to Mire. What do I know? Is choosing to dip desert first. The swords that Jet are missing is the one off the mushroom and the one in the mire shed. Thelane is also choosing to go to the mire area rather than swamp. Which I am somewhat confused about. I think that he still knows that there is an item in Skull Woods, and it's a crystal.
Oh, there's our Bombos medallion.
So if you guessed Pendant Desert, you win saving some time on the seed. Ack the Boker is in go mode at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds.
Yeah, he's demonstrated to us that he knows how to hover, so I don't think that he's gonna have any trouble with the Moldorm 2 gap.
for all we know, he might come across that hook shot in Ganon's tower.
Mm-hmm.
The lane also picking up that Bombos medallion, but given the difficulty that they had with hovering, might not be 100% comfortable with it. But could think that, you know, the Moldworm 2 gap is worth it.
Alright. Killer app, be careful. Just one more puff. There we go.
That hookshot could be here in Turtle Rock, of course. Turtle Rock really isn't very fast, even when you do have it go mode, depending on the key layout. We would need a front-loaded lot of keys in order to avoid a bunch of chests.
Oh,
Big
well,
key.
there's... Yeah.
That's a good sign for a quick Turtle Rock.
Yeah, some small keys here would be really nice too. Like, finding 2 small keys and a big key is always a good feeling when you're in go mode Turtle Rock.
Killer app showing us that it's only 50 rupees on the Bombos tablet, and Ack remembering you gotta go the long way around if you don't have the hook shot.
That can certainly catch you off guard. Especially this late in the seed when you normally would really have hookshot at this point. And our cape shows up as well.
Alright. Lane making their way to Turtle Rock, hoping that hookshot shows up for them along the way. And Killer app choosing Mire rather than Desert. Holy Rain, nope, this is a open mode, defeat Ganon, randomized swords, no glitches. The only special thing about this is that hints have been disabled.
And that's to closely replicate the settings that we're actually going to have at SG Live. We anticipate that B31 will be available by then, and we will be playing on the advanced item placement, and hints will also be disabled at that event too. So we chose no hints for these qualifiers, even though it's really not a real option yet without using the customizer, just to keep things similar to the actual tournament that will be happening in October.
Able to skip the big key chest, stealing the key from the Hokuboku room. Ideally finds another small key in the Crystal Roller room to avoid Laser Bridge.
Not today though, right?
And the nice thing with SG Live is that we know that you're Link to the Past Rando fans, but there's a lot of other tournaments going on, including some more that are going to have qualifiers announced or going on shortly. There's going to be a Mario Maker 2 tournament, as well as an Ocarina of Time Randomizer tournament, as well as several side tournaments.
I'm really looking forward to some Z1R for the side tournament. I think that's going to be a good one. There are going to be a lot of Z1R runners, I think, at SG Live. Yeah, also there's some Super Metroids going to be played too. There's a whole lot of side tournaments. If you type !SG Live in chat, it'll send you a link to a place that will tell you everything you ever want to know and some about SG Live.
Not having any issue. Tempered Sword Trinex. On to phase 2.
Alright. So, this is a group qualifier race. So, we don't have a bot, but still, as per tradition, go ahead and get your guesses in. 1 to 22, what it's going to be. I want to see some numbers scrolling by.
Are we talking the hook?
Sorry, go ahead.
We're talking the big key. If you're looking for the hookshot in Ganon's Tower, that'll be 1 through 26.
Yep.
Oh, nope, it is right there in Misery Mire.
Oh.
That's nasty.
Feels bad, man. That's, I mean, it's not as bad as Swamp, but that's pretty bad. And Killer App is probably going to immediately go into Desert, find his Bombos Medallion, and then get himself into go mode.
Oh no, he's floating away.
No!
A few more seconds to get your hints in. Soon as Ack gets inside.
Is he... Yeah, maybe he's hoping it's in Hookshot Cave? Because this is his second trip to EDM, right?
I believe so, yeah. It'd have to be, yeah, because he got his Samaria and everything. And Ack is going right first, finding a key in Hope Room.
Yeah, this is just gonna be one of those seeds where, yeah, knowing how to hover is really gonna help you out. That's just kind of the way it works, though.
Number 3 is 10 arrows. 4 is 20 rupees. 5 is 10 arrows. 6 is a piece of art. Ack is not grabbing the key from the transition room, and instead is going right to the left hand side. And showing off some more hover skills, you can get across that gap with a bomb jump. Again, not in logic. You would be logically required to have the hookshot there, but there it is in, let's see, 6, 7, that would be number 10.
Yep. 10. Let's see here, who was close? We had a 9.
Well, 9 from Town Wiseman.
Yeah, there's 11 that was earlier than that.
Price is Right rules.
Okay. It's not official, so we'll go with it.
Enjoy your shout out. gonna climb the gauntlet, not a care in the world. Red mail and tempered, plenty of hearts. I think he grabbed an extra potion when he grabbed a tempered sword from the witch. And silvers were somewhere in Turtle Rock.
Oh, we
on
did
Laser
find them?
Bridge.
All right.
The lane found them.
All right, so the lane is going to be our second player, and we got pedestal check, didn't we?
We did, and it was another 10 arrows. Killer App looking for that Bombos medallion. And he is gonna dip swamp.
So if the lane can catch up a little bit here, if he does in fact go straight left, he probably will check Hope Chest first.
I can see that, and hard to say. I'm not sure how I'm sure he knows the bomb jumps or hovers to get to Dark Magician Room, but I'm not sure how comfortable he is with it. Oh yeah. I'm gonna check the 4 chests on right side first, just to hopefully avoid having to do the bomb jumps.
Oh, and Killer App is now going to give us a look at Swamp. This is unfortunate.
Back making mincemeat of the tower. Already near the top. Not gonna find anything useful in Swamp. Might find the 4th sword. We found a single arrow. And apparently that was enough to discourage Killer App from continuing.
Alright, Killer App, we believe in you. You can go back to desert.
And Ack taking an unfortunate fall on Moldworm 2, while Thalane is attempting to do the hovers. One more menu from Ack as he sets up this last hover over Moldworm 2.
This could be the equalizer. We'll see how many attempts it takes him. And all right, he passes it.
All right, the hover gap has been breached. Ack has completed Ganon's tower and is on his way to Aghanim 2. A fantastic and not at all frustrating boss fight that involves trigonometry and a little bit of RNG.
It's a nice Aga pattern so far.
Yep, getting 3 hits on the first one.
Alright, there's one. There's 2 more. Alright, 1. And there we go.
Nicely done. Bat flies away. We get one more flight with the bird. And Ack is on their way into the Ganon fight.
Ganon says some things. It's gonna be
I was
12
just listening to
slashes.
some tunes. Doing some nice dash strats to get Ganon quickly into phase 2. And all the way through phase 2 into phase 3 for more slashes. Getting lucky on the teleport so far.
That's a very fast phase 3. Gets an initial spin off of Ganon as well, and still gets to use the torch.
That gets the bad news that silvers were indeed in Turtle Rock. He's not at all upset about that. I can guarantee you that.
Now it's just spin to win.
Just 12 spins with the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, basically it's a 3-frame window, but spinning kind of gives you more chances to hit that window. And down goes down goes Ganon, and Ak is going to finish this race here in just a second.
As soon as he crosses that bridge and the screen fades to black.
All right, and Ak the Boker, he actually finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 21:55. With Ninban actually getting a time of 1 hour 17:12. That's a very impressive first place time, and a very good second place time as well for this seed.
Get some GGs in chat for Ak. Now, for the standings, I'm assuming that, for the qualifiers, points are kind of weighted depending on how quickly the seeds are completed.
By the top 3 runners. So we take the average of the top 3, and that's our par time, so to speak, that we then compare everybody against. And then we base you points off of the percentage of that par time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of math behind it. That's not necessarily my thing. But we used it in the fall tournament, and it proved to be fairly effective in determining like the top players. So we're trying it again because we thought it was pretty successful. All right, so Thelaine is now engaging Ganon.
Obviously had no issues with the Moldworm hover. Jet is actually going full right, which is a bold move, but makes sense if you're not comfortable with doing the bomb jumps or the hover for the left-hand side. You get a few more checks in this way. Fortunately, won't pay off for him. So as Senek had mentioned earlier, these qualifiers are open if you're attending SG Live or not. The next one will be tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. But Thelaine has taken down Ganon with those silver arrows. Just has to cross the bridge, get the fanfare, and has finished in third place overall with a time of 1 hour 24 minutes and 35 seconds.
Oh yes, get your GGs in chat. We should be able to get our runners here in just a second for an interview while we wait for Jet and Killer App to also finish. They're pretty close to each other too right now if you look at it.
So Jet finished off Turtle Rock, and looks like they're going to do some more checks for that hook shot.
17 minutes. Oh god.
Oh, sorry. Hey, how's it going, Thelaine and Ack? Good GG's.
GG's to both of you.
Thanks. That was a fun one. That's a good way to get things started. I'm sure no one's going to be upset about this one.
Oh, no, for sure.
I guess we won't go into that too deeply, I suppose, but very well played, you two. It was a fun scene to watch.
It was a great way to kick off the qualifier with that loaded Sphere Zero. Had a lot of opportunities for divergent paths and different choices.
By the way, Jet just found her butter sword.
Oh, over at Graveyard. Nice. Yeah, I had just gotten the sword from the mushroom like right before finding Bombo, so I was like, oh, that was pretty convenient.
Because you were still on Fighter Sword at the time, weren't you?
I think I had Master Sword then. I think the mushroom was my third. I forget where the Master Sword was.
Mire Shed?
Right, that's right, Mire Shed. I did Mire Shed pretty late though. It was like the last thing I did before I went to Death Mountain for the first time. Did you do Ice before or after Death Mountain, Thelaine?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Nice.
Dude, it's 20 minutes ago. How do I know?
It's a good point. Yeah. Me and Thelaine, we actually just finished up a Triforce hunt while we were waiting the delay to catch up. He beat me though.
Oh, nice.
Should actually go and do that next time.
Just do like a 10 out of 20 or 10 out of 50 Triforce hunt. See how long that takes.
Yeah, I guess that's like 20 minutes max or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
seems pretty fast.
I'll have to try one at some point. But yeah, that was a pretty great first seed. How are you guys feeling going into the remaining 4 qualifiers?
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please, after you.
Oh, thanks. I mean, we can't really complain getting like top 3, right? I guess so. There's not much to say from my side, and I guess now it's your turn, Ad.
I mean, from my understanding, I guess this counts for seeding, so that's always nice. And then you have the grand prize of the top 3 with the I guess help with travel and all that. Of course, that would be nice too. But man, I feel like getting that's like almost winning the lottery,
Hey, I get to meet you at SG Live finally.
Should I be nervous? Nah, dude, it's gonna be awesome. I'm super excited, man. Everyone going looks like a friggin' stacked crew. I was really surprised. It's gonna be really fierce competition too. Like I don't think I've been more excited for anything in my life.
Yeah, it is gonna be pretty hype. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that tournament shapes up. Who kind of makes it in that top 16, and who eventually takes the gold. It'll be the first live tournament for Link to the Past Randomizer, which will be pretty great.
Yeah, they can kick off and we can start doing like little circuit leagues and all of that, and expand it into a ALTTP randomizer like Empire that's going to be featured on ESPN too every now and then. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Make it the national sport of some country.
You get the league on there, maybe. Live interviews. Sweet.
Maybe get like little bobbleheads of Thelaine or something, at your local gas station. Your favorite runner figurines.
Oh, get somebody on a Wheaties box.
Oh, dude.
So, do you guys want to take a guess at where that hook shot was at?
Oh, we saw it, I think.
You thought? All right.
Yeah, it was in Maya, right?
Yep. It was a pretty bad spot.
I don't know. It seemed like a perfect spot.
I mean, yeah, like for you, I suppose, but.
And I'm so glad I sat down like, what was it, like a couple of months ago and practiced hovering actually, because I was not able to do it like, let's say half a year ago, and then I think I saw Gem learn it on stream, and then I was like, oh man, I need to try that as well. And then I sat down for like 3 hours and just like grinded and then got it eventually and understood how it works, right? So I'm still not very good at it because I never practiced, but I'm happy I did that just for like the edge cases like the seed, and it's good enough to not fall too far behind, I guess.
It worked out for you. You got the Moldorm 2 hover almost on first try right there.
Oh, that was first try actually, but I failed like every other hover at least 5 times. So.
Well, you got the big one right there.
Yeah, I guess.
I got every other hover, and the Moldorm one was the only one I failed.
But yeah, also I think I made the seed more difficult for me than necessary. With like when I sequence broke that Moon Pearl, I immediately went to the Dark World. I was like, man, I don't need no like other Sphere Zero items. They had like Sword, Blue Mail, Lamp, which I also like kind of forgot to pick up before going into Pod. Like I went into Pod and I was like, man, Sahasrah's there. I forgot about that, and I did Pod and Eastern in the dark, and then got my Lamp right after. I was like, man, that's not good.
How many hearts did you have going into all of that? Because my health was really low. If you would have
I don't know,
now,
like 7, 8, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like I had like 5 when I did Pod. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I did like a lot of other stuff first. Still, I don't know. Like I started with Skullwoods in the Dark World and Thieves Town, so I went like all the way around. And
So
did
yeah,
that
that cave.
So between you two and Ninban, the par time for this seed was set at 1 hour 21:14. So that'll be quite the time for everybody else to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, what is 4th place? Let's see. That was like 1:30:40. So that's rough.
Wonder what Ninben did. That was really fast. I guess he must have gotten. I think he must have only made 1 trip up Death Mountain at that time. I don't know. I could be mistaken.
Well, I mean, your dive into Ice Palace was pretty brave without any hookshot or Samaria there.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to do, I think, when I did, so I was like, whatever, I'll just go sit in Ice Palace. You know, I actually thought of you, Thelaine, because I was like, he loves Ice Palace, you know, we can do it together.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm not lying about it either, I really did.
It's also true. Dude, I really love Ice Palace just because everyone else avoids it until like they have to go there. So if you go there and you find something, you're just gonna win the race. It works like that every single time when stuff's in there. I just win, and it's ridiculous because people just never go there.
I would imagine its value is gonna, I guess, in theory, lower a little bit because, you know, it's only 3 items, but now you're gonna be losing the 3 hints since they're not gonna be using that, which, by the way, whoever made that decision, praise you. But I could see it being like less of a better dungeon to go to.
Which makes it... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that both of you are poster boys there, that, you know, early game routing doesn't really matter in the face of late game execution. Both of you doing non-standard early game routes, with Act going over to Sahasrah and Thelaine doing Dam to Agina. Act losing the the boots for about a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, that always happens when I don't do Kakariko. It's fine. It's, you know, it's a curse for me, but it's a blessing for everybody else, so I'll take one for the team.
But yeah, I think it was a fun seed. As you said, there was so much room for like different routes and stuff, so I feel like that was really cool.
I had 4 hearts, no boots, and a fighter sword when I was doing Eastern Palace, and it felt like NMG. Then I missed a quick kill too, then it really felt like NMG. I was having fun.
Do either of you have a strategy for how you're going to tackle the rest of the qualifiers? Just do them all right in a row, or spread them out a bit, see what the field looks like?
I think that's gonna remain a secret for me.
That's
maybe.
fair.
I guess it's gonna be a secret for me, only because like I don't even know which ones I can play in. I was supposed to be at work today, and I didn't have to work, so I literally joined this qualifier in the last second, so I wasn't even expecting to play. Yeah, you'll have no idea which qualifier I'm ever gonna be in because I don't even.
Well, it worked out for you today. Any other final thoughts? You can feel free to stick around while we wait for Jet and Killer App to finish up.
I've got nothing. Just we've been getting each other every time, man. You know, we gotta stop walking on each other's toes here.
And now it's your time. You go first this time.
Oh, I was just gonna say thanks for the tracking commentary and restream. I'll probably head on out here while they finish up. But man, I always appreciated it, guys. So thanks a lot.
No, thank you, Ak.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Thelaine, for playing. We're looking forward to seeing your remaining races.
Thanks. Nah, really, thank you so much for commentating and all the stuff you guys are doing and like organizing this live event and all that. I'm really happy to be able to go there and meet everyone, so that's gonna be really cool.
I'll just say from personal experience, being able to go to like in real life events with other rando players, just play in person with others, it's great. It's a whole lot of fun, and once you do it, you'll want to go to GDQs just to keep doing that, because it could just be a great time for everybody.
Yeah, it's just not as easy as like a European, right? So we'll see how that goes. Maybe it's like so much fun that I just I don't know, spent all my money on that. Who knows?
GG's for both of you. Thanks for racing. Thanks for joining us on the interview. We got the runners links in chat. Be sure to give both them a follow, as well as Jet and Killer App.
Jeez, thanks again, guys. Have a good one.
Yo, see you guys.
Killer App finishing up on his Ganon fight. Did not grab the silvers from Laser Bridge. Working their way through phase 2. Jet does have the silvers, so we could potentially see a very close finish between these two. Just with the time that Killer App needs to spend setting up the spins. And Jet could easily get some doubles or triples on silvers. Jet gets his fourth, and just like we said, Jet gets his fourth silver arrow while Killer App is still doing his spins. Just needs to get across that ever so treacherous bridge.
Alright. And get your GG's in for Jet. 082. He finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, 49 seconds. And I think Killer App is just behind him.
Yeah, just as we see Ganon exploding on the screen. He gets his fanfare, waits for the bridge to descend.
Alright. And Killer App has finished in 6th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39:11. Get your GG's in chat for him. Just before that, Dante had finished in 4th place with a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, 40 seconds.
GG Jet.
Hi. I guess GG to my fellow racers, not to the seed. I did not like that. That was so bad. Why did that have to be the first qualifier?
You got to have one every qualifier, I guess. I guess this was the one that got picked.
I don't know if my stream was on the restream at the very beginning, but I was sort of practicing hovering. Not seriously, but I'm like, let me see if I could just do this. And it didn't go well. And of course, it happens to be this seed. So, it's a little upsetting.
And I think we're also joined by Killer App 23. GG to you as well.
GG.
GG.
All right, he's letting us know his mic's not working. He's going to go sort that out.
So Jet, you did do some checks immediately after Turtle Rock. Were you tempted to try Ganon's Tower without the hook shot, just in case it was in there?
No, my practice went a little better, that I was making some progress, maybe I would have tried. But even by that point, by the time I was in GT, there was already 4 people done, which I'm pretty sure they all, as far as I know, they all hovered, as from what I can tell, based on chat and the restream. So, I mean, I guess it feels okay being the first done that didn't hover, but I don't know. It's gonna kill my qualifier standings. But yeah, so my practice didn't go well, so I knew I shouldn't try even to hover. I decided to try to lock myself out as best as I could from the key logic, hoping there wouldn't be any small keys sort of requiring hookshot to be somewhere else. But instead, the seed just gave you 2 small keys in the Room of Hope. So I'm like, great, I can just go the whole way, and it's just gonna be horrible.
I mean, so the good news though, like of the structure and how we've got it, those the 4 that finished while hovering, that's probably going to be the top score. That's probably going to be thrown out based
that's
on what
I'm
I've seen so far. I guess we'll have to see how the math turns out on that. But that's very likely at this point. So
Unfortunately, rando be rando. Who knows what's going to happen?
Exactly.
I felt a bit rusty playing. I was in the Plando tournament a few months ago, so I'm a little. I took a bit of a break just to relax, play some other games that weren't linked to the past. So came back to this, and it's a little rusty. I think my play wasn't up to usual, so I have to work on that, and hopefully not have any more hover seat, or I can learn how to hover because that's a thing to do.
Hey, it's at least then also practice for the main tournament. Got to get de-rested for that as well.
It's true.
Yep.
Well, a rusty 5th place finish out of 20 finishers isn't so bad.
Yeah. But man, that gap, 25 minutes difference from first place. Ooh. This seed. And there was so much in the beginning too. Gave you gloves, hammer, boots so quickly. And Moon Pearl was in a good location. I just put it off because I got bow and got distracted by Easter, but that's okay. It was a crystal dungeon. Ended up getting lantern as well. So yeah, everything was just so good. And I'm just thinking, I'm looking, as I'm going through Dark World, I'm like, I need so little to be in go mode. And I was honestly surprised that Bombos was required for Turtle Rock, because I was ready to just do what I did in the stream, which is just go into Turtle Rock, hope hook shots on the way. But yeah, this seed was sort of ridiculous.
All right. I think Killer App is still working through his mic issues. Is there anything you want us to read out loud while you're working through that, or? Yeah, he's just gonna join us in SpeedGaming's chat. So now that this one's behind you, you still feeling good about your other qualifiers at least? You got 4 more to do?
Yes, it's only gonna be good from now on.
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have one score thrown out for your low one, you wouldn't feel that bad this being that one, right?
Right. If I can, hopefully that's the case, and this is the one that's thrown out for the worst. So we'll see. There's plenty more qualifiers to come.
Exactly.
Are you keeping your strategy for the qualifiers, which ones you're going to do and not do, a little bit close to your chest there?
I had no idea.
Both Ack and Thelaine are similarly.
Yeah, I just sort of play it by ear. It looks like I can join it, then I'll join it. I decided this one would be a nice start. Let's get the first one out of the way. That was a mistake, but, you know.
Well, there can only be so many hover seeds.
That's right.
Killer App, I'm sure you can hear us, and if you could just say in chat, you were actually the first runner on Restream that showed us where that hookshot was. And we were so disappointed that when you mirrored out of Mire, you didn't head into Desert. It was right there. Just wondering if maybe you can shed some light on that decision.
Yeah, he says yes, unfortunate. He's kind of narrating for the VOD later. Had a feeling Boots would unlock something.
It is one of those things, we had mentioned it during the stream, but when the early game is so loaded, you really don't know what item to follow.
Yeah, that can definitely make for an interesting time. He says, but went and checked hookshot places for bombos, which makes sense, right? Like you're gonna push that. You want to push that hookshot that you just found, because this could have been a whole nother story if your bombos was hookshot locked, right, Jet? Or right, Killer App? Yeah.
The one question then, you did decide to dip into Swamp, and did you see that single arrow as just a sign that, nope, I should not be here?
Oh, that's where the single arrow is. Oh no.
Yeah, in the bombable wall in Swamp.
I was thinking about the Bombos location. Since we found Book on Death Mountain, but Flute was in Ice? Wasn't it?
Pod.
Pod. That's right. So it's like
So-
you had two ways to get into Desert just to get Bombos, and I really regret. I could have went into Mire instead of Desert, but I figured Desert was a faster check. I want to get it out of the way, and then I'll go into Mire. If I had done Mire first and then Desert, I would have at least gotten a faster time, or a lot faster.
So in response, so Killer App says, nah, I saw Ninban done and panicked. This is the reason why he left Swamp, thinking Bombos had to be somewhere else. So he kind of metagamed it, which is that's a legit strategy. Metagaming off a done. Anybody can do that. So, yeah. So there's the reasoning on that. Some of the comments in SRL, now that people are allowed to talk, most of them are related to learning how to hover.
So many people are going to learn how to hover after the seed.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the poster child for learning how to hover, I suppose.
Yep. It's funny, I think every time I've done a tournament from the very beginning, it's always something that I've learned that's an important trick. First, it was dark rooms when I realized, I think it was before the very first tournament we did, but I realized dark rooms were important. And then it was the pod bomb jump when I soft locked myself in one of my tournament matches a couple years ago. Now it's going to have to be hover. Learn all the tricks.
Well, at that point you'll be unstoppable, right? Because there's definitely never any new tech that gets discovered for Link to the Past.
No more new tech. This is it. There's nothing new.
I mean, there's no way that you can get across the EDM without the hook shot or hammer.
It's like a 30-year-old game. What more tricks could there be?
No, I think it's all known.
There's definitely no way to skip the cutscene and cutscene chest and Mire.
That would be good.
That would be a nice one. So, Glitch Hunters, get on it, please.
Put a bounty out on it.
Oh, wait.
But yeah, any other final thoughts, Jet, to our killer app?
Nah, thanks for the hosting me on the restream. Looking forward to more qualifiers, and I'm really looking forward to the SG Live event in October. It's going to be great.
So you're planning on going even if you don't make the top 3 then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I already signed up and everything. Because we still have
Awesome.
group stages
Sweet.
there, even if
you
don't get in the top. The top 3 would be really nice. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also looking forward to playing and just hanging out with a bunch of friends there.
Yeah, we got 10 groups of 5. Gonna play each other over 2 days, and then we'll have a play-in race for the last 3 slots out of the bracket as well, for those who don't make first in their groups.
So
We'll have more details on the exact format later, but that's kind of like the rough gist of it.
Killer App also says thanks for the restream, and I would like to thank both of you for racing, allowing us to feature you, and good luck on the rest of your qualifiers.
Thank you. GG again to all my fellow opponents.
Yeah.
Make sure you give
please.
them a follow.
Everybody give all 4 of these runners a follow. Also, go ahead and check out also our trackers, Regaro and Nifboy. They're great. They kind of stepped in at the last minute because we kind of dropped the ball on finding trackers. So they're just kind of there for us. So we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Trackers make this job so much easier.
Indeed, they do.
And shout outs to Sinak for commentating with me.
Oh, and thank you for commentating as well. It's very much appreciated.
Speaking of qualifiers, we do have another one tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. You do have to register beforehand to participate in the qualifier. 30 minutes before this race start, I believe, Sinak?
That is correct. 30 minutes beforehand. If you go to our Discord, if you go to the SG Live Discord, there's a link to the rules page that has the registration form. Yeah, you'll need to register in advance for those, and you'll also need, if you decide to register and then you decide to leave it, you also have to drop out 30 minutes before the race starts as well.
And that will be on an SG channel to be determined. Any final thoughts, Sinak?
No. Thank you all for watching. We really are looking forward to present these races to you over the next month. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to really build up hype and excitement for that SG Live event in October in the Washington, D.C. area. But if you don't want to miss any SpeedGaming events, be sure to follow SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2 through 6. A lot of fantastic events coming up, both SG Live and non-SG Live related.
Oh, indeed.
And with that, I think we've covered everything we need to cover.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Good night.